Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Welcome everybody to the Wake Up virtual community. This is day 1459, and I'm back with you again in our series of Abundance in the Village. Our topic today is Ujamaa Entrepreneurship in the Global Village. We are looking at financial wellness, and we're applying the Kwanzaa principle of Ujamaa, which is collective economics. So let's all get familiar with the terms. We're familiar with them, but we need to maybe internalize them so we can practice them every day and not just recognize them at the holiday season in December to January. My name is Marilyn Douglas Jones. I'm your facilitator today. I am a retired professor, and you'll hear that, I'm sure, in the way I present sometimes. I'm a lifestyle coach. I'm a culture coach. I'm a certified business consultant. And I have a great offer for you today coming up soon. So get your water, get your tea, whatever it is you need to be alert, and you may take notes, of course. We will be talking today. Although it's our 30-minute session, I think we'll share a lot. And I know I want to hear from you. And of course, we're being recorded to replay. So let's keep it lively, okay? Day 1459, talking about Ujamaa Entrepreneurship in the Global Village. I'm sure there are quite a few entrepreneurs that will be in the chat. And so let's see how we can go global as entrepreneurs. You'd be surprised how simple it can be in terms of what you offer already or what you would like to offer. And then, of course, the business side of it. Okay? What makes it work? What's the process? Okay. Welcome, 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 Grand Rising. Okay. We are having a great day. It's Wednesday. And let's hope everybody is awake, alert, refreshed from your sleep, however long or short it was. There are 20-minute power naps, I've heard. So let's make this a very interactive and productive 30 minutes. Let's do this.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Awesome. That is such a wonderful song and intro. We are talking, as I said before, about Ujamaa entrepreneurship and now in the global village. right? That's wherever we are, which is everywhere. We have one of the largest diasporas on the planet, and we need to come together and make things work for us with what we have already. And innovation is wonderful, but you'd be surprised how we can consistently survive and thrive with what we already have. So welcome, Adam. Welcome, Coach Rashida. Welcome, Phyllis. Morning, Queen Teresa, Veronica, and Queen Z. So the first slide that you see says, let's talk about the demographic diversity and workforce potential. Our focus, of course, will be Africa, the Caribbean, and Black America, African America, right? So it's a very youthful population, especially in Africa and the Caribbean. It's predominantly young, over 40%. And so it's fueling a dynamic and energetic labor pool, right? That gives Americans and others in the diaspora an entrepreneurial set of opportunities because the vibrant consumer base that we have among the youth, they like to spend, right? It can also create consumer opportunities, yes, but even workforce opportunities. And with American entrepreneurship there, and then the opportunities now in Africa and the Caribbean, we can engage in new business ventures, let's say partnerships, right? And so the potential for innovation is great. We have always been the innovators. And so this diverse demographic that we have among us can stimulate that innovation because we always have fresh ideas and they're abundant markets that we already have in industries. We can make them work in new ways, right? Next slide, please. Of course, we're in the tech and digital era. People need to communicate, right? If we can keep the electricity alive, so our batteries can charge, and of course solar, right? We can communicate um, through our phones. We can do everything. Our phone is a mini computer. We can do banking. We can buy products, of course, and we can talk to each other. There's a rapid sector evolving in technology and digital innovation. People are constantly creating new opportunities worldwide. We see now you can even prepare apps without coding. So that's awesome. The young people are getting really excited about that. Fintech, of course, has to do with financial services. And the technology is transforming that. Even with lead generation, you think your market is dry around you. You say, you go to AI or something and say, show me where the market is for this product. And they'll give you local and global leads, right? And of course, these mobile apps open new markets as a result, and it improves accessibility to digital services as a business for users everywhere. And so, because the market is so diverse, the digital services we must adapt to so that we can address those markets and offer scalable solutions from, again, local to global levels. So, this is about locally and globally. And if we can handle the basic tech that's on our phones, we can scale up our business and do very well. Okay. Hopefully, we're not afraid of technology. I'm a little intimidated sometimes, but mostly impatient because so many new things pop up and we really don't have to be involved with all of them. But then our computers, our phones make it difficult for us not to keep it moving, right? So the first one, of course, is agriculture and the business around agriculture, agribusiness or ag economics. Of course, agriculture is super essential. It's our basic for food production and economic stability globally. When countries, big countries, put sanctions on our countries, say in Africa or the Caribbean, basically those sanctions do not impact the rich people. They can afford to scale up and buy the food. It really is a starvation exercise. And so there's always the thought of getting rid of people so we don't have to share the resources as much. So it's on us to get into the agribusiness so that we can feed our people, right? And they have innovations in agribusiness. There are a lot of small technologies that we can use. Maybe juicing could be, you can have a smoothie bar, for example. And so these new innovations can help improve our productivity and optimize the supply chains so that we don't have a lot of starvation, right? We see what's going on in Palestine. The people, a news reporter, he was basically almost 200 pounds. Before he passed, he was just at 80 pounds. So we need to make sure our people are fed where they are. They don't have to import as much or even transport as much, right? So these are sustainable investments that we don't have to be millionaires to start, but we become millionaires if we can sustain it, right? So we want to promote food security and a healthy environment. And I'll pause there to see if you have some ideas about that as well. What are your concerns when it comes to the economy and entrepreneurship? What role do you want to play in helping to keep people food secure or environmentally healthy and not just consumers, consumers, consumers? Mhm. Any comments so far?
I'm going to take down the screen share just momentarily. You've given us some information to think about. I think I just saw a hand go up
Laura,
from Sister
Queen Laura.
Laura.
Grand
Grand
Rising.
Rising, Grand Rising. Thank you so much, Professor Marilyn, for bringing us this information this morning. I hopped on after, so I don't know if this was addressed about the acquisition of land. Yes, I heard agriculture. So,
On time.
yeah, I don't know if that was so.
No, please,
That's
that's
my
what we're talking.
concern.
Yes, go
The
ahead.
yeah, I'm just thinking about the acquisition of land so
Mhm.
we can get into the agriculture. And I've been hearing of these new methods of planting and natural fertilizer
Mhm.
to grow plants faster than normal.
Mhm.
So, I'm interested to learn more.
Mhm.
But I'm certainly interested in the acquisition of land and where we're gonna buy these land. I'm complete, thank you.
Absolutely. You can't have agriculture without land. I know they say we have, you can do hydroponics and all of that, but still it's grounded somewhere, at least the tower or something. Queen Teresa.
Peace and blessing, Dr. Marilyn. How you doing this morning, my
I'm
love?
good. I'm
What I
good.
wanted to say is that I feel like we need to make sure that we start growing our food more seriously than what we've been doing because you don't know what you're getting, now at the stores, and the price is high and it tastes different. I'm part of I haven't been there like the last year and a half, 2 years really, but sometimes they bring me different stuff. But the fact of it is that the food grown in the garden, you know what it is, you know what you put there, and it tastes different. And there's a lot of local free gardeners that you can get involved. You don't have to wait, say, well, I can't because especially out here in Queens where I live at, they have a lot of gardens. So we have access to those things, and I think people need to get more into that because once you start growing your own stuff, then you can store your food. You don't have to worry about if the store has it and the price is too high. You already have it, and it tastes really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, and I'm complete.
And of course, now they have those towers you could put in the corner of your apartment by your dining table, and you could grow your own herbs and spices and smaller vegetables. And if you have a balcony, that's even better because it's outside, right? And so the towers make it easy to grow food in any space. But as business people, that's where we need to look at the producer side, not just the consumer side. Awesome. Queen Rashida, were you going to say something? Did I see your hand up?
Grand Rising, Professor Marilyn. I am so excited of the topic this morning. So excited. And I think this is more mindfulness than anything else. And when I say it's mindfulness, I mean it mindfulness. We have to wake up as individual, as a community. And I heard Laura saying something, and I second the motion and what she's saying about the acquisition of land. But what about what I will say? What about those kids that acquire land from the ancestors and never kept it? Never
Abs-
kept it. And it's so heartbreaking that now are practically homeless of land when their ancestors have left them so much acquisition of land.
Mhm.
It's so painful. And when I'm listening to you of growing your vegetables and growing and really the economic part of life, we really have to go back and think that our ancestors really
Mhm.
left us some nugget, big nugget, and we have walked away from that knowledge that those ancestors them have, like what they would say is in Bulgar matter. They bust their ass to left those land, and we got rid of them.
Mm.
And
That
why
is,
I say that is like so important that we, and some people say, oh, I don't care about the land and I don't want anything about the land. Trust me, we got to go back. We got to go back. If we don't go back, we are last in the shuffle. Thank you so much
oh,
for the point. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. That is so true. And basically, if you don't have land, you're really homeless because you're at the mercy of the people whose land you are on, right? And we used to feel so safe because we were born somewhere or a citizen, naturalized, and now we can be deported. Right? They can revoke your citizenship. So we really need to be very careful and mindful of how we now get that back because the Gullahs are losing land because some of the younger people wanted to sell it. It's prime beach property, prime real estate, and they're really fighting hard in the Carolinas to keep their culture and their land. And as I've said before, there is no culture without agriculture because everything we do is rooted in the land as our supplier of food, fresh air, fresh water, and all of that. Sister Veronica, good morning, Grand Rising.
Good morning. Um, I'm on a couple of Facebook sites with farmers, Black farmers.
Mhm.
There's Black women homesteaders. Next weekend, there is an actual conference in Texas on African Americans buying land, owning land. There are hundreds of African Americans that have in excess of 40 acres. That means they have 1,000 acres, 1,500 acres. They're out there farming. If you join a couple of the Black websites, you will see that it's not something that we need to begin. It's
Mhm.
something that we need to expand on.
Right.
In Virginia, there are so many people that are doing their own farming. They farm pigs, they farm chicken. There are the in especially in Southern Virginia, you could go to some farms where you can get fresh chickens. You can pick your chicken. They are the Muslims down there. So it's not about starting, it's about joining a group and learning how to do it. I've been joining some groups. I took a class on growing elderberry, for example. And I learned about all the different types of elderberry, where our elderberry could grow. And so that's my focus is I'm going to learn and plant elderberry because it's necessary. So if we just pick one thing and then we become part of a community, we will be supplying something that they need that they're not providing. Maybe they're the watermelon people. So I've gone to watermelon farms down there where the watermelon sell for $3, a 20-pound watermelon.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason why we're not each finding out how to learn to do one single thing so that we could provide that to the community. We don't have to be pig farmers. We don't have to be cow farmers. We could grow no matter where we are in this world. We can grow something that will help our community. And so I ask you, well, and if you have my book, at the back of the book, I list a bunch of Facebook sites that are Black Facebook, Black farmers, Black homesteaders. They're buying land and they're building their own little piece of heaven, and they're growing and they're feeding themselves. That's what we have to do, little by little. It doesn't have to be big. And I'm complete. Thank you.
Okay, so that's awesome. Let's go to the next slide, please, and it'll flow right into that. Don't forget our focus is collective. So yes, everybody does your part and then the whole will be bigger. Of course, the next thing that we look at is tourism and hospitality. There's a booming industry for everyone. Now there's heritage tourism because of the different sites. You can go to plantations, for example, in the US. The other folks tend to go to war sites. This is where somebody rode a horse and then they got, you know, the Alamo, for example. But we have cultural heritage that starts with the land and the space people were in to create something, right? So our rich cultural heritage draws tourists. People come, people are leaving the Caribbean to come to the US, but Americans are going to the Caribbean, for example, to take our beaches, to hang out, get a tan, so to speak. And then, of course, we have Haiti, which was the first and basically the only black country to free itself. Haiti is the first black republic, and it has the citadel, it has the beaches. The Caribbean will have the beaches, but we also have the herbs and the spices and the forts, where the British and the Spanish fought each other to have our land, right? And so the cultural heritage is a big thing because even we don't know our history. And when you go on these tours, you learn your history, right? His Smithsonian is a wonderful place to go, but what if you could actually go to a plantation in the South, right? And get the tour and see where your ancestors came from and the kind of work that they had to do under the weather conditions, right? People go natural beauty tourism. They go bird watching. They go hiking and looking at flowers. They go up in the mountains and just breathe fresh air, right? People go skiing in the wintertime. That's natural beauty tourism. And if you had a ski lodge, for example, ecotourism, of course, is great in spring, fall, and summer, but there's winter recreation, right? And so the hospitality industry is booming everywhere. People are flocking to Ghana, for example, by the millions now, not just by the thousands. Okay. And then every part of Africa has historic value because we were mixed when we were brought here. The tribes were mixed up, the heritages were mixed up. So we go and see them in their pure form, and even as society takes over in terms of exposure, we still have an opportunity to go to the place, learn our real history, and invest there too, because they're not used to tourism in some parts. Yes, Ghana's great, But, you can go to Burkina Faso. If Mali was the King Empire, right? The Golden Empire, we can go there and see the first university, Timbuktu, right? So tourism growth fosters hospitality, which teaches us to be more welcoming of people. It's not just a single business thing. It's about improving our attitudes, our mindset, being open to new sources of information, and even meeting our cousins, right? And they come here and we have something to welcome them. There's a National Association of Black Hotel Owners and Operators, so that you don't just have to pick the first thing that the media advertises. You can look here and find somewhere that's Black owned or operated where you can stay, right? The restaurants are pretty obvious, but don't you be careful too, because they may have us working there, they may have our food, but it may not be owned by us. As we can see by the fast food industry, it's been corrupted. So chicken is now separate from barbecue, is separate from, the whole works, and then they gentrify some of it. Pork is the new white meat and that kind of thing. But tourism and hospitality is a booming industry, and we need to research the ways that even if you have that elderberry farm, for example, people come and tour. Like people go pick their own strawberries, they go, go on the road and get the watermelons. The Black farmers are doing quite well now that some of the migrants have been deported, right? And they can do even better if we support them and do our own research to find out. We just need to make that effort. So the next slide, another business opportunity, right? We've got tech, we've got tourism, and now our entrepreneurs. As Black people, we are still very diverse, right? Basically, where we come from, be it North or South, East or West, another country, we are diverse, maybe not just in our complexion, but in our mindset, where we were educated. But when it comes to entrepreneurs, because we're coming from various cultural and regional backgrounds, we bring unique perspectives to our businesses, right? We understand the needs of our community, or we research it. We need to, because everybody can't just do makeup, right? And then we have to look at environmental correctness. So we need to leverage those regional strengths, utilize the resources and strengths right here to build thriving enterprises. This is about Ujamaa collective economics. So by addressing local needs, focusing on solving local problems, like was said, we can create relevant products and services in our communities. We cannot live on vodka alone. We cannot live on perfume alone. We need to eat. We need to connect with people. We need to communicate. We need to do banking. Why don't we have more Black banks and credit unions, right? Any thoughts on that as we move along to the bottom of the hour? People need to go. We, of course, are recording, so you can get the repeat on Facebook, right? Next slide, please. And so, if our business is inclusive, of course, again, I've been trying to use AI quite a bit, so the picture on inclusivity is basically include one Black person and one of this, one of that, one of that. But inclusivity in our case is the Pan-African part of it, right? This is not the time to be xenophobic, because basically you're looking in the mirror and saying you don't like what you see, right? So diversity will drive growth, because we now have the opportunity to invest in other countries. And if we're talking about sticking together, you may have to give up on your neighbor and go stick together with somebody far away, because it doesn't matter if one Black person is being abused, it's an opening for all Black people to be abused, because that person is a testing ground, right? and then they build strategies around that. That's why slavery continues as chattel slavery in the United States, where they made sure that it went from generation to generation. If you were born into it, you were supposed to stay in it, and they're resisting you getting out of it. So we have to be inclusive in a Pan-African sense, and we also need some allies every time. Use their privilege to get things done, but we need to focus on our folks, right? And so that inclusion empowers us. We have a voice at the United Nations. We have a voice in Congress. We can lobby for something here. And then we can then send our thoughts to Congress. We can send our voice to the United Nations, right? So that's empowerment. And then, of course, there's sustainable business benefits because if you have your market as the world, you will never run out of customers. If you have your market as everybody in your state, you will not run out of customers. If your beachfront property attracts tourists from everywhere, you're not going to run out of customers. And I hope that makes sense. Anything going on in the chat?
So it's a little difficult for me to see the chat while sharing the screen, but let me pop over here. So, yes, from Facebook, Stacy said food security and acquisition of land. Yes, thank you for this conversation, Professor Marilyn. And Chantel responds, Stacy, I'd love to learn more about which fruit grows next to which vegetables, when to plant and to reap the harvest. I was in the South with my family a couple of months ago and was out in the garden with my aunt watching her pick the peppers and tomatoes and taking the squash and the watermelon out of the yard and then fig picking from my cousin's fig tree. Our property can't be sold, must be kept in the family. I love that. It's time for us to get back to our roots, literally and figuratively. I remember being there when I was younger. We had pigs, horses, chickens. And it was the way of life. This was in Moncks Corner, South Carolina. Hey, my cousin got married in Moncks Corner last year. So yeah, it is a beautiful place over there.
Mhm.
And just to put that out there, there are one of the things that people are doing who have these large properties and farms is they are sectioning them off and using them for events and stuff like that for because like that's what people are doing. They want outdoorsy spaces. And so yeah, my cousin kind of sort of had their wedding in an open field. And then there was like an indoor space, which was like an open like an open barn. And then they just used like a regular white tent for the dining. So besides the farming, they're also using it for events and getting in revenue from that way. So making it more than just about the farming, but utilizing the land in multiple ways because all the land
Absolutely.
can't be planted on. So then what
Right.
do you do with it? I'm complete.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, when my kids were small, the school took them on a tour to an oil ranch. So even though that wasn't agriculture in our everyday sense, we were thinking crops, right? They went to the oil ranch. They saw, the machine, the derrick and all that, and they learned about oil, right? Because we're in Texas, right? And so then you take them to the strawberry farm, you take them watermelon. We go directly to Hempstead so that they could see people in action, right? And we have a watermelon festival. It's called Watermelon because it takes place in Waller County, but it's watermelon, right? And so just intellectual and still well-grounded. And then you learn some practical ways to do things because they have the jams and all the different ways that you can use watermelon, right? Or, um, butter. They make butter out of the most interesting things. So, the education should start early, but we're looking at the business of all of this too, because we can sit and complain the whole time, and we have to be also careful about being too specialized because we need to feed ourselves individually. So yes, you've got the herbs on your windowsill, and you've got your tower, veggie tower, and spice tower in the corner, so that you can eat, even though you're supplying a lot of, watermelon to somebody. You're still in your little garden in the back of your house. You make a small space to feed yourself, right? You got your chicken laying eggs and all of that. So inclusive business practices, diversity drives growth, right? It empowers the community. You can trade, you have farmers markets, right? And then do things that are sustainable, and you rotate by season, right? Next slide, please. Bear with me another few minutes. Government initiatives and international organizations. Of course, we have to be really clear about the conditions under which we will get a loan or a grant, because we have to fulfill their requirements. And it's not just every grant that you can take. You need to still be discriminating and take the ones that meet your environmental ideals, right? And there are enough out there actually for you to pick and choose. It's like people who act now, that are big actors, they choose what films, even if they have to go work at the restaurant, right? And they're not going to do this just because the money is there for them to do it. So look at the policy that supports entrepreneurship. Those are generic ones. Take them. Governments have these policies that create supposedly favorable environments for us to start and grow business, right? It encourages private enterprise. And then there is training and mentorship to enhance your skills, keep learning, lifelong learner. New things happen, new ways to do old things, so that you are empowered. Even if you're hiring a lot of people, you've scaled up, you still know what's going on. So plan, begin with the end in mind, right? Get your education, technical education, and I mean university necessarily, right? We're already there. But that strengthens our business capacity so we can scale up responsibly, right? And then partnerships, we said Ujamaa collective, right? Partnerships between government and international organizations facilitate investments to support those ventures. But again, make sure you read the fine print, know what your constraints are, because we rather just do business to business. So you're one person, you partner with one person that has land somewhere else, and you have land. I do my thing, you do your thing. We come together and we supply a big supermarket or something like that, right? Next slide, please. Oh, Queen Teresa has something you want to say?
Yes, I was in a farming class. I don't know if it was
Mhm.
last year. I mean, this year or last year, but they had where they were saying that you could start a worm farm, like get like a 5 gallon thing and just and
Mhm.
create a. You don't have to grow stuff, but you can actually grow worms because people need the worms. And they also was showing you how I saw in New York. I don't know if they still have it, but you can get a. You can they had actually you can rent a chicken coop, so it's
Mhm.
a lot of stuff here in New York that people don't know about me being
Mhm.
part of the farm, like in the farm class. She was just showing you different things. She said you could also do hay, like if people just want to put hay in their backyard. Because what happens is that once you do that kind of stuff, then you become a legal farm, and you can get a
Mhm.
farm number. And I know they have grants. I don't know if they still do, but they used to have grants. You get $4,000 to different stuff like that. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
stuff out here because I joined Ron, because I joined it's a black ag farm group.
Mhm.
Um, she's in North Carolina, but she just showed you different ways that you can start your own farm. She said you don't need no whole big old thing.
Mhm.
You have like a little pot right in the front yard, and you can be considered as a farm. So there's ways
Mhm.
that we could do the farm like you're talking about it, and you don't have to.
Right.
I don't have an apartment. I have an apartment, so I wouldn't be able to do it. But even still, I don't know if I want to do worms in my apartment. I might be a little scared about that. But you don't have a place to do it. You definitely could do it, and there you can actually get a farm and become a farm.
Awesome. Absolutely. And so now we're going to learn the vocabulary, the money talk, right? Funding sources, investor connections. What is a venture capitalist? It's a person who provides you with big money in exchange for a percentage, and also they'll give you advice, right? And if you watch Shark Tank, that's one of their venture capitalists, right? You pitch your idea to them, and they decide if they're going to help you, but they want a percentage of your profit, right? And then we're getting more and more angel investors now that people are making big money fast. Some of the athletes, for example, might be part of that, or the rappers. They're becoming angel investors even to build apartment complexes and sometimes the entire subdivision. And they're even buying property now to build their own little town. They have their strip center with all the stores that they need, and they have their, movie theater or whatever. So these angel investors, um, are not visible. That just means they're behind the scenes and you're talking to a middle person. But if your pitch is right, they will then get that person to support your ideas or your growth, right? Of course, grants are gifts. You don't have to give it back, but people get addicted to grants, so they need to follow the directions well. Make sure that you're getting the money and you're using it for what you got it for, and they make it very generous where it's the minimum is 25% has to go to what you're going to do. But some people waste 75%. They pay themselves big bucks, and then they can't get a redo next year because they didn't manage the money well. But they are non-repayable. They still support a real project, and a lot of people are going to jail about PPEs from COVID, but they'll even support just the research part of it so that, give you time is money, right? Crowdfunding, not necessarily GoFundMe, but GoFundMe is a form of crowdfunding, and it enables you to raise capital from a large number of small investors, which we are. The smaller investors online pool that money and get your business going. I guess it's the financial word for susu in a sense, right? So all of these ideas are coming out of Africa in the first place, right? The angel investor was the king. He was a venture capitalist, Mansa Musa, and so grants and crowdfunding become the generous side of that, right? Next slide, please. And so practicing those 7 Kwanzaa principles, the Nia is the purpose. Why are we doing this? Right? We want to not just survive, but thrive, right? We are doing it together, that unity they talk about. So it moves us effectively and efficiently from financial wellness to community development, that crowdfunding. If we need to trust each other, if people who participate in crowdfunding are people who trust or are willing to take risk, right? We keep saying we're not together. We are. We are together when we have a common cause. We don't have to be unified as 4 billion people. We just need to do what we need to do, where we need to do it, and we can venture out to scale up and help someone else get it done. So Kuji Chagalia, learn to manage your own money, the small thing before you get into the big thing, right? And then Ujima and Ujamaa means we venture out now into the community, which can be local or regional or global, right? And work together, right? Um, then, of course, Kumba, creativity. Art is a business as well, right? Even just selling of t-shirts, that's business. But you go to a festival and you sell more, right? And someone comes by and sees what you're doing and says, oh, you can do it on consignment in my store, right? But you need to have that self-determination, kujichagulia, and then have faith in yourself, which is imani, right? And faith in your community so that we can do things together. And then, of course, we have that pyramid. Those basic needs are where the money is. Food, water, accommodation, right? Tourism, culture, safety. We have a lot of football players that didn't quite make it to the pros, or they made it to the pros, they got hurt. Now they're bouncers at a club because they blew their money when they had the opportunity to save it. Or they never made the money because only now people are making big money. So why not have a security company, right? People respect size. Go for it. Okay. I actually have a past student. He weighed 3 pounds when he was born. And because of good care and natural food and breastfeeding and all that, he is now 6 feet plus, 200 plus pounds, but healthy. And he owns a security company. He used to play football in high school and everything. He's a miracle baby. So there's value in everyone and everything. You just have to be feeling that you can do whatever you want to do, like people keep saying, right? And of course, this collectiveness puts us together and we get that feeling of belonging and doing the right thing. We build relationships that can become friendships, that can become big business, right? And so as we go up that esteem need, you are an entrepreneur, you are a business owner, you're a mogul, you are this, you're that. That's a psychological need too, not just financial, right? You want to show that what you do, you want to feel that what you do is helping someone else. It is making you money and your lifestyle is comfortable. And so it takes us to the top of that wellness pyramid, the hierarchy of needs. You're feeling fulfilled because you have new friends, you're eating good food, you belong to a business community and a social community and maybe a spiritual community, right? People love you, they respect you, they appreciate what you bring to them. And so you're in heaven already, right? You have actualized everything that you wanted to actualize, or you keep going. You go to another goal. You do another business. You add to the new business, or just keep expanding your business. But it can be natural. And that's the whole point, so that you're comfortable. You're not doing something out of desperation. You're not doing it out of ignorance, so it's not going anywhere. You're getting along with people. You're not just expecting them to give to you and you not give back. It's that collective economics, right? And so, next slide, please. Professor, in conclusion, Africa and the Caribbean and the South offer diverse and promising opportunities for investors seeking growth, right? Diversity in our culture. We're a multicultural people, right? We still have a common spirituality, but we're multicultural, right? And diversity in those resources from those cultures fuel innovation and give you a competitive edge in the region or the world, right? But we need reliable data. We need to do our own research so that we're doing things properly. We make informed decisions to promote success as entrepreneurs. And then once we make a lot of money, we can also become investors, or we can pool our small amount of money from our profit to invest more, right? And so you as entrepreneurs leverage the strength where you are and in your region to unlock significant growth across the country and across the planet to create this lasting impact, leave a legacy, keep the family land that you have now bought to keep in the family on certain terms, right? Make sure it can't be sold or whatever, and that it is bringing in money so it's not a burden, because it can be a responsibility, right? And so any thoughts on that? We can have a quick discussion. Has it helped you in any way to see things a little differently? That's the idea, to reinforce what we already know and look at it in different ways so that the abundance is ideas too, right? We've seen the hierarchy of needs before, but it could be a financial hierarchy. It could be about investing in the things people really need so that you don't have a stockpile of stuff in your garage and you can't sell it because you don't talk to people. You want people to come to you. You want to reach out. Any final thoughts or comments in the Facebook or in the chat? And I think they wanted Sister Veronica to put her book
She
in
did.
it. Okay, awesome.
She did, yes. So Sister Veronica added her book, and she also provided her number in case anybody wanted to reach out. Scanning really quick. The last comment coming in from Stacy on Facebook, collective economics, exclamation point. So
Ujamaa. And notice the Ujima and Ujamaa. It's all about coming to the group after you have determined who you are and been mindful of yourself and the role that you're about to play in society. So, special offer, the usual financial coaching session. It can work in many ways, right? Anywhere from the best thing to do at the bank to insurance to this, right? Collective economics. The opportunities are there that I can share with you, and it's coaching so that we learn how to do it properly and suitably. Okay? And that's that. You may contact me by phone, text me your email, and you'll get the link, or you can email me your phone number and get the link. And then Instagram is just information about the world and how we're impacting each other.
thank you, Professor Marilyn. I'll close us out from here. For those who have been with us, who are getting so much a wealth of information and knowledge being here in the Woo space, we'd like to ask you to support us with love offerings and donations. These monthly offerings can be automated with $25, $50, $75, $100. Whatever it is that you can give monthly to help support in the continued maintenance of this program would be greatly appreciated. If you would like to donate, but these are not within the price range of what you can offer, please reach out to us and we will get you set up with your own special cadence. Coming up tomorrow, Thursday, September the 18th, being facilitated by Dr. Fatima Hafaz, TBD. Okay. And I'm not sure if that's because we don't have a title yet, because she did step in to cover somebody, or if that's what the title is. But guess what? You'll find out tomorrow morning
We
when
don't
you
have a
join us.
title yet, Tiff.
Listen, you should have let me rock out. You should just let the people
Right.
come in. They just didn't know.
My bad.
All right. But yes, join us tomorrow to find out what Dr. Fatima will be leading us in. And the Woo Nation wants to welcome all new members. If today is your first time joining us live or watching the playback, we encourage you to come back tomorrow and next week and go back into that. Well, we have over 1,400 episodes where you can catch up and get as nourished as we have been over the last 5.5 years. And this is our schedule. We're live on Zoom and Facebook 5 days a week. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays are from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. ish. If you would like a notification when it is time to join us on either Facebook or live in the Zoom space, please text the word Woo Nation to 74121. And we thank you for joining us today. Here's how you stay in touch. Register weekly at bit.ly/wake up movement. You'll get an email that lets you know who's facilitating and what it is that they'll be discussing. You could join us in Facebook. We have a public page that you can follow and like, and then there's a private group that you can join. On Instagram, we're at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. On YouTube, some of those 1,400 plus episodes are there. You can find us at bit.ly/woo on YouTube. And then, of course, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, would like to come on this side of the screen and support in keeping this mission going, please email us at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. At this time, we ask the community to come off of mute. It is time to give Professor Marilyn her verbal love shower and tokens of appreciation for all she shared this morning. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining
Thanks,
us.
beloved. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Dr.
thank you,
Marilyn.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. Thank you
thank you
for the
for
good,
being here.
Being
Thank
there,
you
very
for
all the
good.
being here
information.
all the time.
Thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank you,
you.
thank you.
Love
Peace
you.
upon you.
Love
One
you,
love, guys. One
family.
Thank
love.
Love you
you.
all.
Yeah,
Thank you,
appreciate
thank
Have a
you.
wonderful day, everybody. Enjoy.
you. In contact with y'all soon. Love y'all.
Peace and blessings. Have a great day,
Everybody,
Dr.
love y'all.
Marilyn.
Be good to each other.